Ben, have you ever known a time where two former stablemates have fought each other? Because I can't think of another fight that this has happened.
No, not especially the fact that they were training with each other 6 months ago. I mean, it's pretty incredible. Shane McGuigan knows Lawrence Okolie, as I say, better than any other person in boxing. So brave for Lawrence to do that. It came from the Billam-Smith camp. The ones that wanted this fight, they wanted their world title opportunity, and they thought in the end the domestic one was going to sell the most, and they felt confident with it. But yeah, it is weird. I'm sure it's weird for both of them, but it's exciting because I think people see this as a genuine 50-50. Chris Billam-Smith, with that crowd behind him, is a force to be reckoned with, and is someone that's going to jump all over Lawrence.
First stadium show, how much extra work has that to go in for this type of event?
Luckily not for me. We have a great event team and they're incredible. So yeah, they've been at it for since last year actually, speaking to Bournemouth about this possibility. First event Bournemouth have ever done outside of the football as well. So it's a new experience for everyone. Incredible that we got here. It's been a lot of hurdles, and yeah, for Billam-Smith, dream to fight for a world title in a stadium. I mean, what more can you ask for?
Ben, just going on to the co-main event, Isaac Chamberlain versus Lawal. Brilliant fight. It could be a main event in London itself.
Yes.
How comes it was brought to Bournemouth rather than headlining in London on the Azim card?
You know what? Isaac Chamberlain has a lot of relevance in this fight. He's fought Lawrence Okolie, lost for many. He'll have his own reasons for that. Fought Chris Billam-Smith on a whim, no notice whatsoever. For us, the cruiserweight division is very, very important, and Richard Riatpour as well. This is just a big fight. Isaac Chamberlain's been down to Bournemouth. The fans remember him. We wanted a big chief support for this that fans can look forward to. Mikel Lawal is desperate to be considered up there with the Lawrences, the Richards and the Chris's. It's his moment as well. It's Isaac's moment to jump straight back in. It makes perfect sense, and yeah, what a division we got.
Would you say the winner of Lawal versus Isaac could then potentially maybe be a fight or two away from fighting for the world title between the two main eventers?
I believe so. I think they've all got a chance, and that's why it's great having everyone under one banner. There's no politics. It's so easy to do. We don't even have to put in any sort of clauses. The fights will come around, and we'll make the fights that we think the fans want to see. And this was the one that we thought would catch people by surprise.
Just got to ask you about the news this morning about Amir Khan's failed test. You guys put out a statement saying you were only informed today. Why is that the case? Because surely you're on the same loop as UCAD and British Board and things like that.
You'd think so. Slightly embarrassed and baffled to find out via social media. We contract with VADA. VADA are a private organisation, and did the most rigorous testing we've ever done for any fight was that fight. It was ridiculous. They were tested out in Colorado, Fuerteventura, where Kel was training as well, back at home, fight week, fight night. But UCAD, to not be notified until this, you'll have to ask them. I did call Robert Smith straight away. I said, did you know about this? And he said, I found out yesterday. So what is going on in terms of communication? For me, it doesn't matter what the intention is, what the trace is. It's a strict liability thing. Clearly not finding out shows that sometimes it's just chaotic in what's going on. There has to be a uniform body. There has to be a world body. It's chaos. So as a promoter, to find out in this way, it is embarrassing. But as I say, people might not believe us. Well, go and ask UCAD, go and ask the board, because we had no idea until finding out on social media.
So when you were talking about a potential rematch, and obviously Khan had failed the test, did he not even sort of enlighten you at all? Because there was talk about a rematch.
And that's what's dangerous, I guess, because we were looking at another fight for Amir. But it's not for me. Who's to tell me? I'm bored. UCAD. Clearly, the sport's got away with one, because maybe they'd have notified us if he was fighting. I don't know. Please, we're going to be asking UCAD for reasons. I'm sure there are reasons. I don't know. But all I can say is, I assure you, we found out on social media that today.
Ben, with regards to obviously this failed test that's happened now, or this adverse finding, do you think there's now a bigger issue in terms of the testing, with the fact that the Conor Ben thing took 5 weeks or whatever before it had any conclusion or preference? This one over a year before you find out anything. So that make you more wary about even doing the testing, or what's going on when these testings taking place?
What it makes me realise is all the testing should be under one body. We shouldn't be going to VADA, board shouldn't be going to UCAD. Unify the whole thing. rigorous testing, mandatory testing for all big fights across jurisdiction, worldwide, no loopholes, complete transparency, everyone sees it. I mean, how can we even be asking that 2023? It's just obvious, it's just simple, every other sport has it. Boxing everyone needs to get together and completely rip this up. There's a lot of things wrong in boxing. That's probably top of the list. And anyone that argues otherwise and thinks that things should go ahead and when processes haven't been followed, I find that hard. I don't understand how anyone can't agree with what I'm saying right now.
Have you spoken to UKAD or the board today about the situation?
I called Robert Smith this morning, as I say. He said he found out yesterday. Other than that, no.
In terms of the next fight for Rapcore, what will that look like?
I think it'll be a world title. Yeah, I don't want to reveal it because it's obvious what the options are. But he's got a massive year, and we'll obviously fight the winner of this at some point as well this year. So yeah, he's got a special 12 months coming up.
And Ben, could you just inform us, what is the latest with Natasha Jonas and Clarissa Shields? Of course, an offer was made, was also turned down. Where are you at the latest with that?
Savannah Marshall has got a huge fight that we'll announce in the next few days. Absolute monster. And Clarissa Shields, I think, is fighting in the US next. And then Tasha Jonas, I think, will be fighting in May or June. But the Jonas Shields fight not happening.
Anything on Liam Smith?
I've said it, as I said, we're waiting. We had the rematch clause activated. He's not allowed to fight anyone else. It's a bit of a pantomime at the moment, but as I say, the rematch clause was activated, not put in by us, not requested by us, not demanded by us, but demanded to us and told that's what we have to do. So yeah, what can I do except expect that fight to happen in May or June?
Then back to Okolie and Billam-Smith real quick. So is there any concern from you with the turnaround time that Lawrence has taken this fight? Even though he didn't particularly take much damage in the previous one, it's still, short recovery, back into a training camp. Do you feel that might undermine his performance or make him maybe a bit weaker? Does that play into Chris's hands more? Is that a fair assessment?
I mean, the old heavyweights used to fight every week, so hopefully we can get back to fighting regularly. Hopefully it does. This is what makes this fight so interesting. Lawrence is taking it on 7 weeks. He's going to the stadium. He's defending his world title on a voluntary. Billam-Smith knows him inside out. Shane McGuigan knows him inside out. It's just another factor. And no, it doesn't make me nervous. Lawrence wants to get straight back in there. Now he's got the ring rust off and get himself in a big fight and prove to people why he's the best cruiserweight in the world.
What do you think of all three promoters going the same night?
Is it a Queensberry show or a Top Rank show?
Yeah, you're right, Top Rank, but it's on BT, so all three main broadcasters.
It's not ideal. I would have preferred to avoid it. We did announce Chris Billam-Smith in the stadium a while back. But I do have to remind people there was a day when there was only one channel showing boxing, and so to have this level of competition for the fighters is truly incredible. And the fighters are the ones winning. When we can't give them an opportunity, they can go elsewhere. When someone else can't get an opportunity somewhere else, they can come here. That's a healthy sport. Yes, we should be class. I'd be up for a mediator, no problem. Get us all in the room every month and say, right, who's going where. Back in the day, you actually couldn't go on the same night as another promoter. That was something that the board put in place. So it's not going to be possible that, but definitely open for proper open dialogue on that. Because as a fan, you want to be able to see every fight. But I would remind people, it's better that the sport's in this position than struggling for events.
Just last one from me. We saw AJ come back the other night. As a boxing fan, what did you make of the fight? And people like Simon Jordan saying, "Listen, he's not wanting to take risks anymore to get knockouts and things like that."
I think for me it was nostalgic to see AJ back in. I thought in the week he looked confident and looked himself, and it was good to see. I think he's done so much for the sport, which is great. I don't think he showed himself to be back to his best. He'll know that, but if he can get back to his best, I think we all hope he does, because he was a phenomenon and a powerful man for the sport. But yeah, it was obviously a disappointing performance, and but is how he'll see it. But yeah, I'd love to see AJ back to his best.